once I've got your DFD, I've got to do the marking process, a bit like I had to do for the overview of the plan and everything as well along those lines. Now, I want to be able to tick this box and say you've got 3 marks for a thorough high-level overview plan, which, because your diagram is split into more than just the main chunks, you've split it down into additional sections of it, I can automatically say, yes, I'm happy that I give you 3 marks for that one, and clearly shows how the problem is to be solved. Because it's a data flow diagram, it's showing the step-by-step process as it goes through. Now, a lot like I had to do with the first one, I've got to write a paragraph that backs up my marking and backs up the fact that I want to give you 3 marks. Losing my voice as well now. The student has produced a detailed flow diagram which represents how they intend to solve the problem. So I'm talking about it in future tense. I'm talking about it that, do you know what, you've got it ready to go. If you followed that plan, there's no reason that you couldn't have a brilliant solution for it. I'm also going to mention that where there were a few areas of ambiguity or could be read a different way, I'm going to make sure I mention them, because actually the inclusion of the detail underneath shows how you've interpreted that information. It shows how you want the examiner to know that, yes, okay, I could have put a little bit more detail in that diagram, but I've gone back, I've had a look at it, I've improved on the method that I had beforehand. Now, as I get through this sentence, I'm going to need to scroll down, because what I'd prefer to do is actually be quoting stuff that you've got in there. So you've included a section called Further Clarification of the Overview Plan. Let's see if I've learned from my spelling of clarification. Excellent. Because the more I can pick up on what you've said, the more I'm able to turn around to the exam board and say, there's no reason you shouldn't give them the marks for this one, and I've made sure that I've marked it appropriately and gone through absolutely everything. So I'm talking about the fact that where you saw areas that could have been improved in your diagram or your data flow chart, the detailed overview does actually help go through that one and actually show the thorough high level overview plan. So I can give you 3 marks. Whoop. Now you'll notice this video is also improving your DFD. It's not so much the DFD I'm going to improve, it's going to be the write-up. One thing that while I'm marking it I saw was actually it's quite difficult to read this section. So I might want to put as the process of the overview plan right at the top. I'm going to use this into the center to make it a little bit easier to read. And I know there's somewhere in here. Insert caption. There we go. Let's put a nice little caption under it. I want to make this section easier to read and make it easier to find different things. So this one is generating the 5 random cards. So captions go underneath the picture, and it was just a little bit easier to make it found. Ooh. With that up there though, I don't think I need the title. Crop off any space that I'm not using. So I'm improving the look and feel of the document as I go through. It's a bit like how you would change things within your program's interface or how it works as it goes on through. The success message, how am I going to make that clearer? I might underline it. It doesn't need to be a title, but I do need to make sure I can find it quickly and easily. The percentages display will. And there's the end game statistics. I'm making it so that it's a lot easier for yourself to go and read and check after it. Reading the total so far, correct, incorrect, display both successful as above. I don't quite like that one. The percentages displayed will be as above. As those. I want to make sure that I'm using the correct. Let's go with vocabulary and grammar and spelling and punctuation, because it gives a better overall feel of your document at the end. I have a guess it's updated is, and I can imagine the students are very good with the sequence. Now, it might seem a bit strange. I've given 3 marks, but I'm still adding things to this document. It's an ongoing process. You want to continually be, especially while you're still designing, as specific as possible, and I can't stress that enough, and I know that I've said it throughout these videos, but the more detail you have in your design phase, actually the easier it is going to be to code it, because I'll know what messages I'm going to put in, so I can just copy and paste them from this document. I'll know what statistics I want to calculate, so I've already written the maths down as to what I want to actually do. And in fact, where I've got the words like total correct, total guesses, I could use those as my variable names. And the more detail you've got now, the easier it's going to be to comment on your code and prove that you understand your code as well. So this was marking and improving your DFD.